Hello, hola, buenas tardes, bienvenidos a Juro África Televisión. Un, un día más en esta historia nuestra de llevar el panafricanismo a través de las redes. Hoy estamos un día más aquí con las entrevistas que os hemos dicho que íbamos hoy a llevar a cabo con una de las mujeres más importantes del momento, que es Auntie y la Yaye desde Londres. Ella va a hablar hoy con nosotros, así que bienvenidos a Uhuru África y también al programa de estudios del Malcolm Garvey University, los estudiantes que estudian garveyismo, la obra de su excelencia Rey Marcus Mosiah Garvey. Hoy vamos a hablar de esta persona. Hemos venido hablando a los estudiantes y a la gente que nos seguís aquí en Uhuru África. Bienvenidos a Uhuru África. Entonces, bueno, como os decíamos, hoy tenemos a Sista Laye. Welcome, Sista. How are you doing? Sista Auntie Jean, one of the guests today here. How are you doing?
I'm doing very good, thank you. And in fact, I'm doing great. As Muhammad Ali's favorite words, I'm great. Great.
Yes, that Muhammad Ali words is very interesting.
Uh-huh.
The greatest.
He was the greatest.
Yes.
Yeah.
So my sister, I make my introduction to the people who follow this program, Uhuru Africa, and the student of the Malcolm Garvey University. About you, we have people who follow us in Colombia, in Venezuela, in Equatorial Guinea, in Senegal, in Mali, in Brazil, Chile, Mexico, and the US, and Papua Nueva Guinea.
Oh, wow.
Yes, we have Africans in Papua is fighting against Indonesian colonialism. So these people is listen to us. So we have on a large people that they follow Marcus Mosiah Garvey. Excellent. And we have the privilege to have you here today. Thank you very much.
The privilege is mine. Thank you for your book. Thank you.
Well, my sister, so one of the issues we do here is to have interviews with people that make relevance in our community. But when we say community, we don't talk only African community. We talk basically the Marcus Garvey community, who is a family around the world. We have a family of institutions to follow the principles of Honorable Marcus Garvey and the Malcolm Garvey University, one of the one. But you are leading one of the great organization, who is on the Garvey Village, the place where I have the privilege to talk with the people. So thank you, God, for that. And I want to go with you, sister. What is your background? Where are you from?
My background, well, I was conceived in Jamaica. But I was born over here. So if you get, my grandfather called for my mother, Jamaica, but she didn't know that she was pregnant with me. So when she arrived here in the September of 1957, I was born 1958 in May. So it was a shock to her, and I think a shock to everybody else, because she wasn't expecting me to come. So I've got Jamaican heritage, but I was born over here in this country in London, England.
Okay, sister. And you grow up in an African community with your fathers, with your family?
Sort of. I was put into a children's home when I was about just before I was 3 years old. So I was surrounded by white children and white people. We was it's like a village. They called the Oval, the children's home, the Oval. And there was about 12 houses around this oval. So 6 houses on one side, 6 houses on another side. And there was a woods that surrounded the oval behind the houses. So I grew up looking at pure white people. until I was about 8 or 9 years old. And my grandfather basically said, because there was a white couple that wanted to adopt me.
Yes.
And if the adoption went through, then I probably would be the Auntie Jean I am now. But my grandfather stepped in and basically said to my mother, if you allow her to be adopted, you will never see her again. Mm-hmm. So with that, I started to go to the family and grew with the family and found my culture, so to speak. And I said that as I've grown, as I said, to love my people.
That's great. You know, this is the process of many of us has in your life. You remember when Malcolm X he talked on that, his mother, in all this, you know. So yes. So we are very happy to your mother tell your grandfather that, because you are here.
Yes.
You are here. Yeah. So my sister, when you began, because this is the question we made everybody's come to this podium. We make it Dr. Runoko Rasidi. We make it other people like Sister Mama Sama, Molefi Asante, Akinjele Umoja, Omali Yesitela. So the great Africans. I met you.
Wow.
How you decided to become Maroons? Why? How? When?
Ooh. Yeah, that was a question for me.
Yes. How? When you became, why, when? Because you know, mostly African we grow up in the white society, and one day people decided to do a different things, you know, and to abandon the plantation and go into Quilombo. When? Why? How?
I don't know how or when. As I said, I was about 8 or 9 years old when I came back into the family. Mm-hmm. I was the oldest, and I had 3 younger brothers. At the time when I came in, there was just 2 younger brothers, and the younger brother, my last brother, came afterwards. Growing up and going to school, I had friends that looked like me, whereas before everybody around, I thought I was white because all I could see was white people. Mm-hmm. And so even when I looked in the mirror, even though I see a different complexion, I could only see white people in front of me. So when I came back into the family now, when I go into school, all my friends look like me. I discovered that, you know, who I am as a Black person. Growing up, the same thing. You know, partners as I was growing up all looked like me. And funny enough, all I have children. My children's fathers are Jamaican. It's not that it wasn't planned or anything, but that is how it is. But my journey here to do what I'm doing, would you believe my youngest child was 18?
Yes.
And I was listening to a radio station, which you know as Galaxy. And
Galaxy Radio, yes, I know Galaxy Radio. Brother Bandaka.
That's right. So I was listening to that years ago, and my oldest daughter, who's 2 years older than my youngest child, there was a presenter who was the same age as my daughter talking, and that hit me, and it made me think, what am I doing for my Black community as a person? What can I do? What should I do? Rather than spend money on rubbish, do foolishness, you know, what the young brother was talking about about unity and how Black people should come together and how we're supposed to be helping one another. And I looked at myself and I'm thinking, but I'm not doing that. I'm just living my life. I'm not doing that. So that's why I started to question myself. What am I doing? And I realized I wasn't doing nothing. What can I do? What should I be doing? So what should I be doing? I should be doing something to help the community, raise up ourselves as a people, bring our people to as one. So that's what I should be doing. And then it's like, how do I do it? So slowly by slowly, the ancestors have a way of opening doors. So when I was putting those questions out to the universe, one thing led to another. They're so remote, apart from each other. There's no link that you could say there was a link. But if those sequence of events didn't happen, I wouldn't be here now. So it started on a spiritual journey where I met up. But I don't think it started there. It started when my daughter was 18 and I stopped following her and started to say, right, she's old enough. I've got 4 children. She's old enough. She's reached 18. I can start doing for me now. So I started to go to different events that served the Black community. That's when I met up with Brother Leader Bandaka and the revivalist movement. And I followed them for a little while. I went into all different Black communities, Black organizations, and started to learn a little bit from each one.
Yes. So, okay, everybody's listening from Telecá, Televisión de Vallecas, 3839 TDT, la gente que nos escucháis también desde La Mosca TV Barcelona, en el 28 la TDT, Afro-Latin TV en Florida, la gente de Senegal. Hoy estamos hablando con Auntie Jane y la Yaye, quien es una de las mujeres que inspiró este libro.
Wow.
Ella es una de las mujeres que inspiró este libro y las tantas mujeres que inspiraron que yo escribiera este libro. Por eso la tenemos hoy aquí con ella, para que sigamos escuchando en Uhuru África Televisión desde Londres. Ella es la directora de Garvey Village, que es un centro en Londres. Ahora nos va a explicar qué es Garvey Village. Okay, Sista, explain the audience that you inspired me to write this book, and you are part of this institution they call the Garvey Village.
Yeah.
What is Garvey Village? For the people that listen, what is Garvey Village?
The Garvey Village is going to be a community center with a difference. Difference being is a base for natural healers, because it come about because there's a big gap in the Black community as services that we need in this country. I don't know about any other countries. I think it's probably maybe the same.
Yes.
But I started with the African culture market, to give you the long story short. The African culture market is something that I came across. It came onto me. Another one of the sequences of events. I started a market, and I didn't want it just to be a market. I wanted to have a platform. So it promoted local talent, local businesses, local services, as well as people in our community who are doing things and teaching things to highlight those people, whether it be spiritual, health-wise, history, finance, keep fit, nutrition. We touched on everything. So there was a platform that people used to come and do a presentation, and people wanted to listen more. They wanted more advice. They wanted information. They wanted workshops. So I thought, okay, we need a place that we can do follow-up workshops, advice shops, information, and all of that. So the Garvey Village was born from that, taken on Garvey's philosophy about we have to do for ourselves and we have to provide for ourselves. So on Garvey's philosophy came the Garvey Village. So the Garvey Village will be a base for natural healers. So to move away from the pharmaceuticals that's killing our people, and for us to go back to our natural, because before pharmaceuticals, we was using bush for healing. Even if you had a broken bone, it was a bush and banana leaf and all different kinds of things that we used to use. So it's a way of us going back to our roots. So with, highlighting the natural healers. We have a lot of natural healers in our community, but they're not where we can get them in one place. They've got their practices in different places. So the idea is that once a week or once a month for a couple of hours, each practitioner will come to the Garvey Village, so that we'll have a couple of natural practitioners working alongside each other. So when people want a natural practitioner, there's one place they can go to see many different natural practitioners, whether it be herbs, whether it be spiritual, whether it be Reiki, whether it be massage, or, the list goes on of the natural healers that we have. So there'll be one phone call to ask for whatever natural practitioner for whatever day, whatever time. So that's the idea behind a base for natural healers. A base for homeschooling is for a lot of people are homeschooled now. We need to homeschool our children. We need to take our children out of the so-called killing fields, because just like how we were going to our schools, we're indoctrinated to leave school looking for work rather than starting our own businesses. We're indoctrinated so much that when we leave school, we're obedient. We do as we're told. We don't question authority, whether they're right or wrong. Even now, with the COVID situation, a lot of people are just following like sheep, because from school, we've been indoctrinated to do as we're told.
Yes.
And, homeschooling keeps our children's creativity. Children who are homeschooled are so much more intelligent. They use their creativity. They're very bright. They're very on the ball and very intuitive. But it's crushed when they go to school. All of that is crushed. Our children that come out of the other side are almost like zombies. And they're looking for somebody to give them a job, thinking that they've got a skill that they can start their own.
Yes, Fela Kuti Zumbi. Fela make music on that Zumbism. And Minister Farrakhan talk about that, the question of Zumbi.
Yes.
Bina Uhuru Africa, bako mina yana wala na Auntie Jean. Elaja ana Londres. Angus. Akobiemu, akoma beyond the urban. Ejamda boyna ayu enda balwena the Garvey Village. Ena mbura na Marcus Garvey yanga bela Jamaica. Enyanga so mbura nkobo bela na Pan-Africanismo. Enya na vanyi mitu fanya be. Enya na mborme yena be minate yanga bwana machila badi abaya na vanyi. Safe minate tam abibina akiba Huru Africa. Okay, sister, I was playing in African language, in my African language, Fang language, to explain everybody in Africa to understand who is you and what you did and what inspiration you brought to many people, and you come through the vision of Marcus Garvey, who born in Jamaica, and he built all Pan-African, so African internationalism, Black Power, Rastafarianism, any names you want to give African liberation. That way I want to tell people that they know through you and through all the women that I met in the time when I was in the movement. I met people like Sista Esther Stamford, who's one of the great women who saw me many things, and we was in the Voice of Africa radio. She was one of the, and Sister Kai, Sister Njeri, Sister Patricia. He's the wife of Brother Luwensi. Is she based in Beckham? In Beckham.
Right. Yes.
Yeah, and all there are many people and who I know in this process. Sister, Also, you talk about the school, the homework, and the youth student. And okay,
Yes.
when you broke from white supremacy education, colonialism,
Mm.
basically, we call them here in Spain African Negro. You know,
Ah. Mm.
yes. When you broke with this kind of society, you need to study against everything. And what's the role Garveyism play in your life?
Well, it's played a lot in my life, as a fact that we have to do for ourselves as people. As I said, hence the Garvey Village, that we want to bring homeschoolers in, not only to give advice and help with the parents who are teaching their children, but also with the Garvey Village, we want to set up some classrooms. So we will call on experts like Robin Walker, who wrote the book When We Ruled, and plenty of other books about our Black history,
Yes.
mathematicians, scientists. We have a great scientist called, I forgot his name now, but it will come to me, Leon Marshall, who goes into the depths of things. We have a lot of professionals that can teach our children. So people who are doing homeschool, those teachers will come down once a month. It's the same thing as the practitioners come down once a month. And just with their input, even if it's once a month, is a big input, because they will come down and they can teach the children that once a month, their knowledge to help our children. And even when our children don't get that information from those professionals, the children who are homeschooled still come out on top. And how we can measure this is that the children that do Saturday school, and if you think about children go to school 5 days a week for over 6 hours a day. Saturday school is 1 day a week for 3 hours most. And those children who do the 3 hours at Saturday school 1 day a week excel all the children that they come across inside their schools. They excel with their creativity, they excel with their knowledge, they excel with their confidence, they excel with everything. They're more outspoken, they know their rights, they know how to stand up, and they don't cower. Whereas the children who don't go Saturday school, they more cower. They don't question authority. The children who go to Saturday school and learn about their history, when the history teachers are telling them nonsense, they will stand up and say, but that doesn't go so.
That's right.
They know their history, and they will question the teacher, whereas everybody else won't question the teacher. So that alone tells me that teaching our children is what we need to do, and take our children out of the killing field. So having one of those professionals that come down at least once a month to teach those children a part of their skill, and that is across the board to all those professionals that come down and teach on finance, commerce, science, history. Just imagine how our children will excel. They will come out so confident. They're not going to look for no work. They will start their own businesses, and they will employ their own. And that's what we need to move and break away from. And the only way to do that is to start with the children and educate our own children. You know, some people are so far gone. They think that, some things you do have to go to university for, because with this world, you have to have a piece of paper to show that you can do something. But where we come from years ago, did we need a piece of paper? We didn't need a piece of paper to tell you that you can do something. Yes. You had your experience, or your family line were healers, or your family line were farmers. You didn't need a piece of paper to prove that what you are.
Yeah, that's one question, my sister. Many times people said that, Abuy, Africa needs school. We need to build school in Africa. But what kind of ideology or the information they give the children in the school. They tell black children that there was a slave, they still a slave, they are Negro, they are colonized, they said them many things. So I want to back to one of a reference that we have as a godness, because any time in any culture, any people, they has people's coming, or God said some people to come to the earth, in Muhammad, Jesus, for the other people, and when Marcus Garvey came to the earth, when Marcus Garvey came to African people to organize the UNI and to bring us this kind of authority, like Muhammad bring Arab, like Buddha, like many people like this, because this is some kind of peoples in the history that how many enemies Mr. Garvey has. You can see was the level of his of him. I wanna go in some question. Sista Nzinga wrote a book, Women in the Garvey Movement. This book impacted to me. I have those books in my home now. Somebody stole me this book. I don't know who's doing, but I read this only 3 times. But this book impacted to me because women. I want you to talk to me about people like Amy Aswood, because we have people in Spain, in Colombia, in Ecuador, in Equatorial Guinea, in Senegal that they never mention it. They hear about Madonna. They hear about Beyonce, but never hear about Amy Ashwood. Who is this woman?
But Amy Ashwood was one of the wives of Marcus Messiah Garvey, and both of his wives, Amy Ashwood and Amy Jakes Garvey, were very influential, and both of them, in their own right, were their own people. They stood up for not only women, but they stood up for family. They stood up for their own Black race. They stood up for them as an African people. And it's through them that helped us as women to learn to stand up. You stand up alongside your man, you stand up alongside your community, and you do what you can to help. So I suppose that in a way has helped me to stand up and do my part. Because if everybody does their part, you don't have to be big, but if you do a little part, because we're all part of a big jigsaw puzzle. And if we're not all the same size and we're not all the same shape, but we come together, once we come together, we can come together as one. And we're trying to, as I said, do what you can do, because what you're doing, even if it's a small thing, can inspire somebody else to do something. And that other person can inspire somebody else to do something. It's not everybody who's going to get up and do something, but the more of us stand up and do, will be good. Because to make a change, it only takes one person to make change. It only takes one person.
Yes.
Look at Marcus Garvey. How much changes he made, the impression that he made. He had his own hospital. He had his own, his Black nurses, the Black Cross nurses. He had like his own army as well. He had factories. He made black dolls, and he said that we should only have black dolls. The industries, his own printers. So much so that people had to hide newspapers to get the newspapers around the world so other people can actually read what is actually going on for the Black community. It was almost like, I think it was in prison or death sentence if anybody was found with one of Garvey's newspaper. So, the importance of us being together is the detriment to the others, because they don't want us to get together. They have studied us for years and they know what we're capable of. So they don't want us to get together. They separate us by countries. They separate us by religion. They even separate us by shades of our skin color. And a lot of that, we take that on board, and they don't have to separate us anymore because we separate ourselves. I'm a Jamaican, I'm not African.
I'm a Equatorial Guinea.
Yes.
I'm Senegalese.
Yes.
I'm a Muslim.
Yes.
I'm a Sub-Saharan.
Yes.
I'm Afro-descendants. Yes. Even they call in Spain racializados.
Okay.
The racialized people. So we have many names to say the same thing. So yes. I mean, when Marcus Garvey come in, it's very important that the people know that Marcus Garvey, for Spanish-speaking people, 200 million, you must know that Marcus Garvey has the Negro War newspaper in Spanish. In Panama, in Venezuela, Costa Rica, Honduras, Malabo, yes. All these places, the newspaper of Marcus Garvey was ruling. So what we are doing now with Sista is nothing new. It's what the UNI and the newspaper was doing. You know, put yes. African people together across the globe.
That's right.
You know, that's what we're doing now in this internet. And the question of identity, because we're talking about racializados, Afro-descendant, all these things, you know, it's capable because Marcus Garvey bring African people one nationality, one African, one nation.
That's so, right.
Yeah, go ahead with this question, Sister, because this is the hardcore situation in every African community around the world. You will see the same discussion. Hey, you know, Abuy, I'm just Nigerian, you know.
Yes.
No, I'm a Mexican, you know, this is still. So it's very important people know that in the time when Marcus Garvey came on, it was the same.
Yes.
The discussion was the same.
Yes.
And Marcus Garvey broke one kind of a nationality.
Unity. Yes.
Unity. So African nationality. Go ahead, Sister.
Yeah, and that's part of the Garvey Village as well, because I said not only with the natural healing, we have the homeschooling, so we'll also provide the after school and Saturday school as well as homeschooling. We also want to bring back the basic skills in our children when they're leaving school and when they're leaving prison. Because when I was at school, us as girls, we had cookery classes and we had sewing classes. The boys had woodwork, they had metalwork, they had mechanics, you know. So when they left school, they could actually go straight in and do something for themselves. We could leave school and do dressmaking or tailoring or something, or go into cookery. All that's taken out of the schools now. Everything's taken out of the schools. And to tell you the truth, I don't know what they're teaching the children, but the children are not coming out like they've been educated. You know, when I was at school, we wasn't allowed to have calculators in the school. Now the children are allowed to have calculators, so they don't even use their brain to make sums anymore. They use a calculator to sum up, you know, the answer in maths.
Yes.
So bringing back the basic skills. We want to bring back start, you know, when the children leave school, we'll give the basic schools that are in carpentry, in woodwork, in construction, in all of those fields that they can actually go out and either be an apprentice or start their own business. So we want to give them those basic skills so that they can do that. Also for the youths coming out of prison, because the way the schooling is, especially with our children, our African melanated children, it's a pipeline from school to prison. If it's not from school to prison, it's school to the mental house. If it's not school to the mental house, it's school to the grave.
Yes.
There's three options. You're dead, you're mad, or you're in prison, which in a way helps with the depopulation. They've got, as I said, I heard one child a couple of years ago, he was only 14 years old, and he wished to live until he was 21. There's a lot of children nowadays, especially with this COVID thing, are actually killing themselves. There's a lot of child suicides, a lot of teenage suicides.
Yes.
That doesn't help with us as a people. The youths are killing themselves. That doesn't help as a people, because it seems like we're going to have a missing generation, because all these youths are killing themselves. They're too young to have children. So they're about 15, 16, 17, 18. They're dying on the streets by their own hands, and they haven't had a child. So there's a generation that's going to be missing. That also helps with the depopulation. So, and also this single gender as well, man and man, girl and girl, that helps with the depopulation.
Yeah.
The abortions, it's easy to get abortions. That helps with the depopulation. So, and the people who are career minded and they push those certain people up for careers, and they will forget about having families until it's too late. That is part of depopulation. There's lot of different ways that they're coming to us. And now you've got the new thing with the vaccine, which is sterilization. And a lot of African countries think they're getting vaccinated for one thing, and basically it's sterilizing the women, which is part of depopulation.
This COVID vaccination, the things, is one discussion that we must have in an African community, because all these things we're talking about, we know that now, but 100 years ago, we didn't know that they are doing that. They tell us that they want to clean us, they want to make us medicine, they want to civilize, they want to, and now they said integration. You understand? It's not civilization, it's integration.
That's depopulation as well.
Yes. I mean, sister, well, let's talk about this question, because me myself, I come from Marxist-Leninism background, and I was follow Hugh P. Newton and Tupac and Public Enemy and Sister Soulja. They was my heroes, and Barney Spear, and in all this reggae music, in Culture, all these groups was in the 80s. That was my really university.
Excellent.
My real university.
Yes.
Because music is very important in all over the world, but specifically in African community, music still have a strong role.
Yes.
But we don't control industry. We control only the art, but not industry. But in 80s and 70s and 60s, music was it was something that it keep African people in a struggle.
Right.
I remember when Michael Jackson passed, how many people was in the funeral of Michael Jackson. Tell you what Michael Jackson was in the last day.
Yes.
Only the people you see there, But I remember when I was young, I was living in Africa with my fathers, and they was putting the Jackson 5. What the Jackson 5 was?
Yes.
Yes, it was Michael was in the last time.
That was my favorite. Was the Jackson 5s and Michael Jackson. Loved him.
Yeah. Let's go with music, because you have a one singer in your show. Is the African Liberation Day song. Is the Anthems, making by a Jamaican singer. This Jamaican singer, his name is maybe you can help me. You put it there in your show. Is
Too Better?
No, it's Jamaican.
Oh, was it Michael?
African Liberation Day.
Oh.
It was the song with we fighting for freedom of Mandela. It was two women, two Jamaican, one sister and one brother. he make a song called African Liberation Day, and this song was reggae music.
Right.
But at that time I didn't understand English, so I was singing the song, but I didn't know what they said.
Yes.
You know, African Liberation Day. Let me find this song is
Yeah, because at the moment I can't.
You put it the other day in your show when you come in the show. You put it at the beginning.
I put it at the beginning.
Yeah, yeah.
Oh wow! I've played so many. I've got so many shows.
This song, okay. Let me. This song was because we remember songs that channel life.
Yes.
It was songs that channels life. The Sista was singing Winnie Mandela song, and my question is this: how music can be back an element of freedom in our community? How? Because we don't have YouTube, we don't have all these stuff that this Babylon control. We don't control what we call now the reggaeton. We don't control trap. All these new still this coming. How music can be able to free our mind and our people today.
I mean, they know our music is very powerful, because as you mentioned, when I grew up, when you grow up, the music was an influence, a big influence in our lives, whether it be in love, whether it be revolution, what we need to do. Even back in slavery days, when they used to go into the church, a lot of the songs that they sang were messages about where to meet and what they're going to do. You know, they sang their messages, you know, so we're very, very creative people when it comes to that. So that's why a lot of our artists, the music artists that sang about revolution, that sang about love, that sang about unity, all passed away suspiciously. And they've given us a different type of music. They've taken control of the actual distribution of the music.
Dennis Brown.
Control. There you go, Dennis Brown. But you was talking about women, so I had Dennis Brown in my head, but you was talking about women.
No, it was two. It's Dennis Brown. Dennis Brown was one of the first reggae I hear. I was listening to Bob Marley, but I didn't know English.
But Dennis
I didn't understand anything.
He sang about love. He sang about revolution.
Yes.
He sang about us as people standing up, rising up as one. Yes, he's one of my favorites. I always start. You're right. I always start with playing Dennis Brown.
Yeah, you put it the other day. Yeah, you make me. You remember me many things when you put Dennis Brown, because one of the guy who teach reggae here in Spain.
Yes.
The man who broke reggae. Is DJ Ragnar Paisa.
Right.
DJ Ragnar Paisa was the guy who brought all these groups to Spain. You know, he was rock manager. He was DJ of disco in Barcelona.
Okay.
And in Paradise, they call this disco was Paradise.
Right.
And it was all reggae roots, political reggae, religious reggae.
Okay.
No reggae, all this reggae of the sand, beach, fire, all this. No, very, very Rastafarian, political. And it was Dennis Brown, and it was another Sista. It was another Jamaica Sista. His song on Winnie Mandela. I will tell you this Sista now, because this Sista, when Mandela went out from jail, the Sista went to see him. The Sista is Clarence Davis.
Okay.
You know the Sista?
No.
Yeah, it's the Sista who made the song Winnie Mandela. So check it out. This song when you finish.
Mandela.
Yes.
That one. Okay. I know the
song. Yes.
Yes.
Yes. I have this. I bought this record, I have this record in that time because there was no CD, was no internet. You must buy
Yes.
the record.
Yeah.
And this record was 100 pesetas, 100 pesetas, 100.
Wow. Wow.
So it was too much money.
Yes.
I went to buy this record. I keep this record with me. I listened this record. I said, because at that time the record, it has the lyrics outside.
Yes.
So you can
So you can sing along with it. Yes.
Yeah, you can buy dictionary and you learn what you said.
Yeah.
You know?
Okay.
Yeah. So people gotta go with the dictionary, understand what they said, because we didn't know anything about that. But the sister was talking about Winnie Mandela. It was the wars that you know.
Yeah.
You know.
Yeah.
You talk a little bit. Let's talk about this sister. What Winnie Mandela means for you, and all this stuff.
Winnie Mandela is one of the greatest warrior queens of our time. If it wasn't for Winnie, we would never know about Nelson.
Yes, that's true.
She kept his spirit. She kept him alive. She kept on going. Even when they imprisoned her, they banished her from South Africa, she and her daughters, she still kept on going. She still spoke out. She still kept on going. It's just sad that all of her efforts and everything else, went by the wayside when he came out of prison. But Winnie Mandela, I rate her as one of our great, this time, warrior queens. She stood for her rights. She was fearless. She didn't care about when they put her into solitary confinement for how many, I don't know how anybody else could survive solitary confinement and the treatment. And I heard in one of her interviews, she actually said that when she passed out, through the torture that she was going through, it was like a relief to her body. Her body was able to rest when they beat her so much that she passed out. And they used to throw water on her to wake her back up again. And she said her passing out revived her so that she could still carry on. And they didn't realize that every time that she passed out, that's when she took her rest so she could carry on. Her spirit was never broken. And we as a people need to rise up and take the black print from Winnie Mandela, that don't give up on whatever you do. Keep on going, keep on trying. Doesn't matter how many obstacles come in your way, how many times that you get pushed down, how many times that some people say fail. Just keep on going. Just keep on going, no matter what. Winnie is one of my favorite warrior queens.
Oh, my sister. So that's going on. So, bueno, estamos ya terminando este programa especial, Uhuru África. Estamos hablando directamente con la hermana Auntie Jean desde Londres. Una hermana que, bueno, ya nos ha hablado del gran trabajo que está haciendo y de todo el trabajo que está haciendo alrededor del garveyismo. Ella es una de las directoras de Garvey Village, que es una institución cultural, educativa, comunitaria, política, social, y espiritual, donde se enseña los principios de Marcus Garvey, One Africa, One Nation, African Fundamentalism, fundamentalismo africano, y todo lo que son los principios comunitarios panafricanistas de Marcus Garvey. Ella está aquí con nosotros. A la gente que nos seguís en el 28 de la TDT en Barcelona, en tomalatele.cat, a la gente que se dice La Mosca TV, 28 de la TDT, en Rayo Vallecas, en Telecat, también en el 34-38 de la TDT, Afrolatin TV en Florida, y la gente que también estáis viéndonos a través de YouTube y a través de todas las plataformas en Guinea Ecuatorial, en Malabo, Bata, Vinayong, y también en Baney, la gente que nos veis por Camerún, Senegal, que estáis en Limbe, que estáis en Congo, y la gente que nos veis en Kenia, en Sudáfrica, en el Chocó, en Colombia, en Ecuador, en Venezuela, y también en Brasil, y Costa Rica y México. A toda esa gente decimos que hoy estamos aquí con nuestra hermana, que es Sista Aun, que está una de las que está dirigiendo este proceso. Es una de las mujeres que me influyó para hacer este libro que tenéis que comprar, Afrofeminismo, 50 años de activismo de mujeres negras en España. Es una de las tantas mujeres que en el día de hoy siguen haciendo lo mismo que Amy Just Garvey, que lo mismo que hizo la propia Amy Aswood y tantas otras líderes. Ya estamos terminando con ella y hemos hablado de muchas de las cosas, de las preguntas que queréis saber. Okay, my sister, I was introduced the people Spanish speaking about what we were talking with you. What is all the role you play in this institution, the Garvey Village, and what kind of a process you was in this contest. And it's very important to know that Amy Just Garvey, Amy Aswood is not people in the past, it's people in the present, in the very present. You know, because university, school teach us that those people is in the past. You know, that today we have a Beyonce. No, we have those kind of people in the present. So I told them that you and many other women that I mentioned, they still did the same thing those were doing in the 20s. You know, the only difference is that we don't know, and that's we're gonna go. We are in the end of the conversation. We go. One of the last question, or one of the last things we want to talk is about the question of the self-empowerment. You know, and how Marcus Garvey organized business to support community, and how the Black Star Line and many other business, it was a demonstration that the African self-determination is possible. And today, countries like Equatorial Guinea, who produce petrol, is not able to have the ship company. You understand?
Yeah.
Senegal, Mali, you know, Cameroon, they has petrol, they has oil, they has mineral, but they always rent the plane, the ship. And Marcus Garvey made the Black Star Line. And Marcus Garvey make a flag, red, black, and green. And Marcus Garvey make the Negro atoms, make many other things that we today, we have money, we have more money than Marcus Garvey has, but we don't have this capacity to build.
We're not putting it together. We're not putting our monies together. Marcus Garvey, I say it was easier for Marcus Garvey in those days because we knew who our enemy was, even though he was infiltrated, just like Malcolm X was infiltrated, just like Martin Luther King was infiltrated by traitors. But on the whole, us as African, Black, Caribbean people had an enemy. What's happened throughout the years, everything has been watered down. So we've had this integration where Black and white people have mixed together. Black and white people are having children. You know, we're accepted in a lot of places where before we wasn't accepted. So, you know, that's helped to water down the urgency, the fact that we as a people, we're suffering because they give a few people raismanship, so to speak, so that another person will say, well, I'm a millionaire, I made it by myself, why can't you? But there's a glass ceiling. They only let a few people through to make it look as though that anybody can make it. But the world is not designed that way, because the people who are ruling the world are just the 1%ers. And the 1%ers want to keep us as a people down. So Africa, the country, the continents, the countries within inside the continent of Africa. Africa is rich, but the way the system is and the way the people are ruled is helped to keep the people poor. But the country itself is rich, the people should be rich. The people shouldn't be separated. The people shouldn't be segregated at all. Can you hear me? You seem like you're having a little bit of problem. You can hear me?
Yeah,
okay.
I hear you.
Okay. And to help us move along to be self-sufficient, also what the Garvey Village wants to do is have social activities for the elders and for the young, to bring them together, because there's a big gap. So we have intergenerational programs. The elders can teach the young their knowledge, teach them of their experiences, because a lot of our experiences that was put down from the grandmother or grandfather to the daughter, to the son, to the grandson, to the great-grandson, to the great-great-grandson has gone. Where families are separated in different countries as well as different areas, and they don't see each other. So that bonding is not there, and that knowledge gets lost. Every time an elder dies, a whole library goes with them. And that library could have been passed down to their children or their grandchildren. And that's lost now. There's a lot of way back when the skills that we have is passed down. It's passed down in families. So you have a family of farmers, you'll have a family of healers, you have a family of doing all the different things, that carries down, because it's the one teach the other, teach the other, teach the other. And that helped us to be self-sufficient back in the day. We need to try and bring that back. The Garvey Village is like a one-stop shop, a hub to bring all of that back, so that when people come out of the Garvey Village, they're a lot more wiser. They're a lot more, have more knowledge about who they are, what they need to do as a people to keep ourselves together. We haven't got anywhere in this country that we can go to one place and say, if we want a 24-hour plumber, to where can I go to find spiritual healing? Where can I go to get training? Where can I go for, just so I can just sit down and be amongst my people? We have nowhere. So that is the role that the Garvey Village will be. And the people who come out of there, the young people especially, will come out of there, will be doing their own businesses. They'll be having their skills so they can teach others. So we're looking to build, as I say, an army of self-sufficient people that's looking to work with one another to help build us up as a people. And we need to start talking in one voice, being one voice. So it doesn't matter what religion you are, doesn't matter what country you come from. The only barrier is what they've put in front of us is a language barrier. And we need to break that as well, so that we can all understand each other. My power's going.
That question is a very very important, because sometimes when I remember when the fire took place in Barcelona last November, and 25 brothers died in the fire. Senegal, more brother from Senegal, Gambia, other part of Africa. And when we sent a statement denouncing, many of the brothers in so-called Pan-African movement, they was telling us, you are listening to me, sister?
Yes, I hear
They was
you.
telling us, please, send me in English. I don't understand you. Send me in English. Imagine Malcolm X in Nigeria telling people, I don't speak Yoruba. Or Garvey in Costa Rica said, oye, no hablo español, por favor. Those people, those Africans or so-called Pan-African groups, they do like that. You send in something, say, they very Anglo-Saxon atmosphere,
Mm-hmm.
Something is coming from Africans, from Spanish speaking, Portuguese speaking, or any kind of place. He said, I don't speak this, I mean, Malcolm X never said that. Malcolm X went to Africa, and Delany went to all over Africa.
That's right. That's right.
Bob Marley went to play in Harare, Zimbabwe.
That's right.
You understand? Those people today, we have Facebook, we have all this stuff, and we are more separated than anytime.
It's all by design, though.
Yeah.
It's by design. Because we're in a time of awakening. And the awakening means that we need as a people to get together. We really should be telepathically connecting to understand each other.
Yeah.
But we can't do that if we're not together. So
I know.
It's a good way to keep us separate. They deliberately separated, as you said, Gambia with Senegal, with two different languages. So you couldn't understand your brother.
Yes. That's happened too much when I was member of the African Union Cis region.
Mm-hmm.
I used to go to this meeting in Geneva, all these big places. When I see my brothers with the jacket, with all this stuff, when you want to tell, hello, brother, I know your brother, let me, you think things like this, like you are an institution because we went to Geneva to fight for the decade of the decade for African liberation, decade after Durban. And you understand that the African people to arrive to this level is the most Negro African people.
Right.
Because it's not because how you say the system, education system, they make them to act at this way.
Yes.
It's like one brother live in Senegal, in Gambia. They always looking for TV. What they see in TV, Europe.
Yes.
So they want to go Europe.
Yes.
They are European.
Yes.
They know French language. They know French president, Spanish president, English queen. They want to go there because since they are child, you saw them Hollywood, you saw them Europe,
That's
you saw
right.
them Cristiano Ronaldo, you saw them Real Madrid, you saw them Messi, Barcelona, you saw them this. So people want to do that because you saw them.
They're dying to go over there because whatever country colonized you, that's the country that you inspire to go to.
Yeah,
because
and
it's education.
It's education.
Yes.
When you see that, you go into the. I remember in 2007, it was the big conference of African Union and six region in Paris.
Right.
It was about 2,000 delegates, and I was the head of the Spanish delegation. And when we arrived to Paris, they carried out to the expensive hotel. Concord Lafayette. It was like crazy things. I didn't know that this is the hotel we're gonna stay.
Right.
Before we have a meeting, with Dr. Mbolo and me, we fly to Paris to make the meetings with, But we believe that. So we're going to talk about, the diaspora, the African people, the Pan-African. So we stay in a hotel by 2-star, 3-star normally because it was the expensive hotel in Paris.
Wow.
Concord Lafayette.
Wow.
So the people who are going there, what they can do against Babylon. You understand?
Yeah.
And all the ambassadors was there. All the people was there. And then we went to the park, and we see, when we come in the taxi, we saw some brothers in the park sit down there. Well, Dr. Mbolo said, okay, let's go to the park to see this brother, what they are doing.
Yes.
So we went to the park. It was brother from Haiti. It was brother from Guadeloupe.
Right.
It was the brother from the Iceland, Caribbean Island, French Caribbean Island. I don't remember the names of this. San Vicente, it was there. And we talked with the brother. He said, the brother, why do I hear? Say, we live in this. The brother said, we live in the pool hotel.
Right.
So we are making time to go sleep.
Okay.
Like place for people who live in the street.
Yes.
So we take the brother. We say, let's go dinner. Let's go lunch. And we go to the hotel with the brother.
Right.
We told the brothers and sisters, everything they ask you, you only say in Spanish, sí.
Yes. Okay.
Don't say nothing more.
Yeah.
because all these Africans important was looking the brother like,
yes. Yeah. Who are you? What are you doing? Yes.
You only follow us.
Yes.
We gone to the dinner place,
Mm-hmm.
all the delegation.
Yes.
If you have somebody asks you anything, you say yes. They will know that sí, you are Spanish.
Yes.
Español.
Yes.
Finish. So the brothers going there. The brothers said, okay, we're gonna down. Yeah. It's everybody can eat.
Yeah.
Because everybody eating there. So after the brother was eating, and one man said, the brother said, what is your delegation? The brother said, yes. Where you come from? Yeah, sí. ¿Cómo te llamas? What is your name? Sí. So all this situation happened because, it was something that it make us to be distant with this kind of institution because grassroots people in all over Europe, in Spain, they want to participate, they want to fight, and then the African ambassador bring all the kind of stuff with people abandoned. But in that time was very good experience to meet all these people, because in many of these meetings you cannot talk about reparation.
No, you can't.
Yes, you cannot talk on Garveyism. You talk about what do you call cooperation, development.
Nothing like, to empower yourself as a people.
Yeah,
they don't want nothing to empower yourself. Yes.
Yeah, how much investment?
Yeah,
things like this.
Yeah,
things that we never has because we never investment in no community.
Yes.
Yes,
that's
but
right.
we talk about investment, thing like this. Well, it was very good thing. So, sister, we are going to finish. For me, it was a pleasure and honor to get this conversation to you because you talk about education, but all sisters and brothers need reference because all people are looking for reference in Jupiter, in the moon, in place like this, But many of the reference are in his home, in his neighborhood, in his street, but it's not easy to see them. So for me, the job you are doing there is great reference for many of our daughters, many of our families, and the most important, and the building in the African liberation ideology, African internationalism, Garveyism is still building.
It is still building because with the Garvey Village, we have, as you know, we have every Friday, we have the Garvey Village, Unlock the Chains and Keep Well, where guest presenters like you give us the remedies and keys. So we have that every Friday where people like you are highlighted, and because it's virtual, it's people from around the world now. It's international guests that we have on the show. And the same with the African Culture Market during this COVID time is virtual as well on Sundays. And both of them start at 7 o'clock GMT time, Greenwich Mean Time, London. And the one finishes at 10 o'clock on Friday. The Friday's one, 7 till 10. And the one on Sunday, it's 7 till 11. But sometimes we go over because sometimes the topic is so strong. The topic is so poignant and so important. We can go on talking and trying to find solutions and ways and how we can help each other. The latest time we went on was 3 o'clock in the morning. We started at 7. So Sunday's one can go on depending on the topic. But yes, anybody's welcome to join us on the Friday with the Garvey Village or the Sunday at the African Culture Market, where we continue things like this, where we get information from people like you with your book. In Spain, I didn't know because you did the 50-year struggle of the Black woman, in Spain. So, the the virtual through this COVID thing has opened up a lot for us. So whereas they're trying to keep us down, we as a people will never be put down. We always find a way. And this way, I met up with you, such a brilliant man who's highlighting the warrior queens of our time and the people past. And I love you for that, because not a lot of our men bring up us as women because they have ego, but you are proving to the exception.
Yes, I'm really appreciated, sister, the opportunity to talk about Marcus Garvey, because right here in Spain we have too much William Dubois in all levels, but we haven't Carlos Cook or Marcus Garvey or people like this. You know, is not we don't have this opportunity to talk. That's why we built at the Malcolm Garvey University a groups they call La Familia Garvey, the Garvey family.
Yes.
Who is in all institutions around the world, basically Europe and Africa, who has the name of Garvey.
Yes.
Or is teaching Garveyism or things like this, you know. And to put them together, last year we had to celebrate International Conference on the Garvey flag, red, black, and green. And we brought all these people, music groups, politicians, activists, professor, all these people together, united in the ideology of Garvey, because Garvey has many followers. You have communists, you have socialists, you have Muslim, you have Rastas, you have many different people who it was follow Garvey, like Ho Chi Minh in Vietnam, Kwame Nkrumah, with many people. So we have 200 million Africans speaking Spanish, and we feel that Marcus Garvey, as Brother Bandaka used to say, His Excellency and King.
Yes.
Tenai Mari. So we should take many people, because one of the guy who most make emphasis in Marcus Garvey, it was a communist man. They call the chairman of Mali Yasitela. He was the guy who introduced many of us in the vision of Marcus Garvey. But he made it in the perspective of the revolutionary socialist Africans, And there are many other people who talk on Marcus Garvey in different contexts, in different ways. So it's a great inspiration. And we must to keep this space, this year we celebrate every year. In this time it was the time was Marcus Garvey traveled to Spain. And 1910. 110. Yes. It was in 1910 when Marcus Garvey came to Spain, and then he went to Lisbon because he tried to get from Spanish authority or Portuguese authority the permission to travel to Africa.
Right, yes, because they kept him out of Africa, didn't they? They didn't want him there. Because he was being studied everybody.
In that time, he was a journalist in African Orient Express. And he is documented by the Spanish government that he was here. He was a journalist. He was in France, Spain, and Portugal.
Beautiful.
Try to see how to get connection. And all these things, so it's nothing new what we are doing today. It's nothing new, and we must to find that in the African school in Africa, in the school system, they teach Marcus Garvey in Senegal, in Mali, in Gambia, in Guinea, in Cameroon, Nigeria.
Yes.
That must to be the goal. But we ourselves in the communities, we must to start doing that in the communities. Because I didn't learn Marcus Garvey in the university.
No, you wouldn't. You wouldn't. And what is sad that they don't teach Marcus Garvey in Jamaica.
No, I say me myself, for example, I didn't learn Marcus Garvey University. I told you Abuy Nfubea, Runoko Rasidi, and the Sista Mabangema.
Yes.
In Barcelona, Brother Kareba from Senegal, and Brother Rasbavi from Sudan. They was the people who teach me. I don't gonna lie to make Wikipedia and say that, I teach Marcus Garvey in Harvard University.
No.
People do that.
That's true.
Yes, true. One brothers here in Spain. It's a beautiful brother they call Auntie He's a nice brother. He was member of the Pan-African movement. He was secretary of a culture the time when I was president, and he made his Wikipedia, and he said that UNED University, public university Spain, put in as secretary of the National Congress of Africa.
Right.
And the university wrote letter. They said, no, we don't put you. Pan-African movement rent the place and they broke you. So there was the same word people say, no, we never put you. We never nominate you. It's your people to bring you.
Wow.
So that's the same thing. Many of us said, we don't say that Omali Yasitala or Farrakhan or Sister Jane, you yourself, or Bandaka or Sister Esther teaching me this. We said that, it was in Harvard University when I was teaching there, and then I meet the professor. This vision, Tony Martin talking that when Tony Martin made his book, he talked on that. And Baudelaire, he was here in Spain. He talked on these things because the knowledge, the information, the culture is we.
Yes, that's true.
We.
It's true.
If
that's
we
true.
don't, you see, when I started to write my book in women's, many of the women told me, why did you do that, Abuy? Nobody care about that. Talk with the young sister. They are in the college. They know too much. Because they are in the college.
Right.
But, because we must validate the teaching of women, like people like Aminata Omoya, like you, like other people, Sister Rufi, Kareba, because this is what we call the cultural revolution. That is the Black cultural revolution.
Yes.
The music of Sister Solia.
Yes.
And the hip hop.
Yes.
You remember Sister Solia?
He was a powerful speaker.
Yes.
Yes.
All these things. This is what we need to get power, not give the white university all the
credit,
the legitimacy. You understand?
Yes.
You're giving all legitimacy, or what we said. A black man invented something in the neighborhood, in the family, and he went round to the university, say, look what I did.
And they take it.
Yes, they take it.
They take the credit. They
put in the Wikipedia like they did it,
Yeah.
And many of these things is did it by us.
A lot of the stuff from a lot of stuff from university is stolen from us. People do their work.
Yes.
And they will turn around and say that they've lost their work. The university will say they've lost their work. And yet a couple of years down the line, you see their work has been put out as a book, as in work, as a business. It's been stolen from them.
Yeah.
University takes people's ideas.
Not only universities, but the white power. The white power do that. Look, Chokwe Lumumba in Jackson, Mississippi. He used Marcus Garvey's slogan to make campaign and win the city, the mayor. You understand? He used the slogan of Marcus Garvey and he won.
Wow.
He won to be the mayor of the city. He won Democratic, he won Republicans, both together. You know, and he was just a grassroots group called New African People Organization.
Yeah.
The Malcolm X grassroots level. And he won. But when we went to Wikipedia or we went to internet, you read things different than that. You know, the slogan is the Marcus Garvey slogan.
That's right.
One aim, one destiny. It's the slogan. That's why Chekwa Lumumba is coming for this tradition of the black nationality. He used the slogan to win. He didn't use only the slogan.
Wow.
So we must be very aware when the people write the narrative.
That's right.
You understand?
Yes.
It has to be that very right, because the narrative of what we do, we must to keep this narrative. So when I talk, when the people ask me, Abuy, why you write the book on women? Why you work this? Why you do that? I do it because I don't want that nobody write that sister Auntie Jean was no African, was Chinese.
Yes.
I don't want nobody write that. They will tell you that Michael Jackson.
They will do that.
Yeah, Michael Jackson was from Groenlandia.
Yes.
Was from Japan. You know.
Yeah.
You know, like this. So Fela Kuti, born in I don't know. You know, they do that.
Yeah, I mean they're whitewashing the hieroglyphs in the pyramids.
Yes.
You noted that they're whitewashing the figures.
Yes,
to make
the
it
pyramid.
look like it's them.
Pyramid.
Yes, to make it look like they were there. They're trying to separate, and they say it's in Middle East. Middle East is in Africa.
Yes.
Egypt is in Africa. So they're trying to claim it. They've been trying to claim it. All the films, you see all these people in a hot beaming sun, and they're white as snow.
Yes, that's why we must keep the legacy.
Our own history.
They did it with the history. They did it with the Zimbabwe and history. They did it with all our history.
Yes.
They did it. So they able Hollywood do it every day. So it's very important to control our own narrative. So
most
Sista,
definitely.
Thank you very much.
Thank you. It's been a pleasure. Thank you.
Sista Auntie, and Auntie so a Londres, so the Garvey Village.
Thank you.
Murandasi kolobala na Garvey Village a Londres. Enya so yen. Abiakiba mi se biva obi am moving to van bia maniang. Sista Auntie, Auntie, Sista Auntie mini awo. Molumo tan maskese akobo radio. Sister, what is the name of the radio?
Black Culture Radio.
Yeah, akoba Black Culture Radio. Mine wo directamente. Eyo mena akobo mini awo owen. Akiba eng Uhuru Africa. Uhuru, the next time we will see.
Peace.
Greetings. Peace.
Peace.
One love.
All right. Brilliant.
Okay.